I hadn't intended on making another video on premarital sex or underage sex or teen sex, but it's been coming up repeatedly in conversations as this new problem that we're having to deal with. Several people have suggested that it's a new phenomenon, and back in the good old days, this kind of thing didn't happen. I think they're misremembering what it was like back in the good old days. I've heard people saying to me that they don't remember daycares in school when they were kids. They didn't remember all these teen pregnancies, and I think they're not remembering that it used to be fairly normal for a girl 14, even I've heard 12, to get pregnant and then get married. We've all heard the shotgun wedding, shotgun marriage. That term wasn't discovered or it wasn't made up because something was going right, but a woman or a girl would get pregnant at a young age. She would get pulled out of school or not even have been in school at the time, and she would be home raising a family. That's when they started. So I know off the top of my head four people's grandmother that was 14 or under when they had their parents, and they never had the opportunity to go to school. They just stayed home, raised a family. That's when they started. Now, I'm not advocating or suggesting we even go back to the good old days, or even that it was a good thing or a right thing. It was just the way it was naturally. If you take human consciousness out of it, it would be the perfectly natural way to go. A child grows up, becomes sexually active, and then starts to reproduce. That's the way it goes in nature. A cub is born, raised by its mother, becomes sexually active, and then makes families of its own. That's in nature how things go. We've added a consciousness because we've evolved to the point that we have a consciousness and we can think of others. We are, to be honest, in completely uncharted territory again. We're going against natural evolution. We're actively trying to evolve our human nature into an untested ideal, and I'm all for it. But the whole reason that I wanted to point this stuff out is not to criticize the older generation or to praise the new generation. I just want people to understand, at least from my point of view, how far we've come. We've come from 12, 14-year-old girls being married off because they were pregnant, underage sex, never had the opportunity to go to school, to, I believe we've overcorrected. We've gone too far. We have children having sex, and when they get caught, they go to jail, and they have a sex crime on their record because he was 17 and she was 15 and they're both underage, so it's this weird thing and the society's all in uproar. I think that's too far. I think we need to pull that back a little bit and remember what it used to be and how much better it is today. It's still not great, it's still not perfect, but we don't know what the perfect society is. We've never had it. We are inventing it as we go along. We're in a place in societal evolution where we've never been before, which is fantastic and a little scary and a little weird. So I think people are a little unbalanced, and they're going from, oh, how disgusting that we have to have daycare in grade schools, and neglecting to remember that a very short time ago, these girls didn't even have an opportunity to get an education because they're at home raising that child. There's a wonderful speaker, Steven Pinker. I'm going to put a link. I'm going to try and put a link up on the side to one of his TED Talks. For me, he really illustrates how we've evolved as a society and as cultures and as human beings to become better than we were. I highly suggest you see it. I'm sure I'm missing stuff, and I may post another video on this. We'll see. If you like it, flag it. If you don't, well, flag it. Have a great day.